Healthfreedom UK. Every Tuesday. Healthfreedom UK. Healthfreedom UK.
Hello and welcome to Healthfreedom UK with Not a Doctor Robert and Lowlands Pete.
Healthfreedom UK. Healthfreedom UK.
With Not a Doctor, Rob and Lowlands Pete, and a special guest.
Healthfreedom UK.
We haven't got a special guest.
What special guest? Who's the special guest?
We haven't got a special guest.
No special guest.
Oh, we're special, though, Pete.
Yeah, we're a little special.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, it's me, the Baldy Boomer, back again with the one and useless Pete.
Hey!
And it was a big welcome back to the Cookie Monster last night.
Yep.
He was on top form, Cookie in a way. So well done, Cookie, for getting back to us. And it's been quite a few weeks, wasn't it? About 3 weeks at least.
Yeah.
And Pete, did you realise that, or do you realise, should I say, did you realise, I can't even speak English now. Do you realise that this is the last show of before we do one more show, which is going to be a music show. So next week is going to be a Rumble exclusive music show.
Okay, cool.
And we've already decided what the year was, haven't we? So we can tell people now. So if people want to start putting in their requests and sort of start thinking about it, you can do. Can you remember what it was that we decided the theme was for the next music show?
Absolutely not. No,
Someone
really.
smokes too much of the wacky backy.
Aye.
It was 1999, the turn of the millennium. Remember?
No. Did
Okay,
you talk to me about that? Or
yes,
somebody else?
I did talk to you about it, Pete.
Okay.
Yeah. We said,
I vaguely remember somewhere. Yeah, 99.
Let's do 1999. So next week is an exclusive music show, and it's going to be the year.
The first one is in 1999, Prince.
Yeah, well, that was the last song that when in my DJ days, that was my last song that I played in 1999. So yeah, that was going to be an obvious one
for the Y2K.
Before the Y2K. So there you go. Yeah, so get your requests in, and it will be an exclusive Rumble show. And then the week after that, Pete, it's the Germany loving.
Jawohl, ja.
The Germany orgy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But before all of that, let's find out.
Everyone's here.
Did you press it or did I?
Who's in the chat tonight? Everyone's here. Ready to ignite, attacking fast. We're feeling fine. No limits here.
It wouldn't start, Pete.
You played it twice, so I think it did.
No, it just wouldn't start.
It's slow on your end, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I mean, yeah, my signal seems to be okay. And can we all guess? Yes, we all know.
Hey.
It was the man who loves to moan about the rain was first in the chat. He sits there all day going, "When's Robert going to post it? I've got to be first on the chat." I told you to Pete to start the clapping, and so right, do it again.
I cannot stop clapping now.
Do that better. And next we have Titty Ricky, who's not been very well. But Rick, we hope you feel better. Rick and I have had something in common. We both had some stomach issues last week. Yeah, I don't know what was happening with me, but one day I started getting an upset tummy, and
Maybe we could ask Chicken what it was.
Yeah, and then I just couldn't get rid of it, and so I had to do a 36 hours fast, and then I was back to normal. Then whatever that is. So yeah, we wish you better, Rick. And he missed the Isle of Wight festival, Pete. You know, missed the Isle of Wight festival. He's on the Isle of Wight. He should have gone to it. If I lived on the Isle of Wight, I'd go to the Isle of Wight festival. Definitely. Yeah.
It's once a year.
Yeah. And it's Glastonbury this week. They all go camping on Wednesday off to Glastonbury. Lucky bastards, and it's going to be lovely weather and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't miss Rod Stewart though.
Oh, he's the main act.
No, well, he's the legend slot.
Okay.
The OAP legend slot is Rod Stewart. So yeah.
And
it'd
be funny to watch.
I saw him back in the early 2000s, and he was rubbish then.
Yeah. So could be funny. I saw Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh yeah,
that guy is fucking. On the internet, it was, some clip of him and a performance. He's like in his 70s now, and he rolls in on a fucking Segway.
Really?
Yeah.
Good on him. Where was he playing?
He doesn't walk anymore.
Where was he playing?
I don't know where it was. Somewhere.
Oh right.
I don't know.
Okay. But in America, yeah.
Yeah. That didn't look good.
And good evening, Kitty, as well. It's a meow from Kitty. I don't know if they're doing a show this week. They might be. I'm not sure.
No, me neither.
I suppose it's when she gets a chair, isn't it? And Mahatma Malevolence was an early welcomer as well. That makes a change. Mahat, nice to see you. And who else going down? Let's see who was next. Roberto is rhyming away. And Cookie is here as well. And Mascara Snake. And Turgoose Steve. Turgoose Steve is here as well. All the links to all the people that I love are in the show notes. Apart from Pete. I don't know. And good evening, David. Yes, good evening, David. Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Nice to see you just like that. There we are. Anyone else that I've missed? Anyone else have I missed? Let's have a look. No, people are just... Oh, Paula's here. She's whooshing away as well. Whoosh, everyone lurking on phone. Oh, is your computer still not working, Paula?
No.
Because she got kicked out last night, didn't she, Pete? Because of her computer.
Yeah. Well, it's an old one. So.
You're absolutely right, Mahatma Levens. Don't put yourselves down just because you're special needs. We do have special needs, don't we, Pete?
We are special.
Yeah, there we go. Prince, 1999. Yes, David. It was an obvious choice, wasn't it? It was an obvious choice. There was some good songs in 1999. I remember because I was DJing them. Good evening, Kendo, as well. Welcome aboard, sir. Nice to have you here. And anyone else? We're missing a few regulars, but they might turn up a bit later. Spanish Chicken's here as well. Weird Al done Cracking Parodies. He did do Cracking Parodies, mate. You're absolutely right. Yeah, he did. Oh, Wi-Fi is wonky, apparently.
No.
But obviously your phone's working all right. So that's a good thing. So what have we got for you today? We've got it's a usual show full of fun and festivities, etc., etc., etc. We've got, in terms of discussion points tonight, we're going to be talking about the abortion law change, NHS to test every baby's DNA, a bit of a story about a carer who is caring for a mum. How there's evidence that the homeless, the immigrants are being homed first before UK residents. A hit piece on Kate Shemirani. If you don't know who she is, she's a former nurse. You might recognise her when I put the picture up. Oxford to charge £5 to drive into as part of their 15-minute city plan. And we've got bird depopulation, plane turbulence, and don't use your phone on the toilet, as well as some wonderful memes as well that I found for you that I've been working on hard all day. And let's give you the first of those wonderful memes. This might make you smile, Pete. Here we go.
The Americans are out again, Ted.
Are you sure it's America, Dougal?
It's them, all right. I wonder what they're up to.
God almighty, I'm just after seeing the news. Trump has just bombed Iran's nuclear sites.
That's awful news, Ted. Why destroy a peaceful nuclear facility?
Well, because they don't want Iran to have a nuclear bomb, Dougal.
All right, because America doesn't have any nuclear bombs.
No, they have thousands of them. They're just worried that if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, they could bomb Israel.
All right, because Israel doesn't have a nuclear bomb.
No, they have hundreds of them.
How come they can all have nuclear bombs, but Iran can't?
Well, because they think Iran can't be trusted.
The same way I can't be trusted to do a funeral.
Exactly, Dougal.
Here we are now, tea for everyone.
Hello, Mrs. Doyle.
Did you hear the big news, Mrs. Doyle? Trump wants to bring peace to the world, so he's just bombed 3 nuclear sites in Iran.
All these bombs and wars, I just wish everyone could settle their differences over a lovely cup of tea.
God almighty, if only it was that easy, Mrs. Doyle.
I hope Father Abdul will be okay, Ted. Doesn't he live in the Middle East?
No, Dougal. He lives in Carlow.
All right.
Yeah, good old Father Ted. That was quite a good parody, actually, and it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? The joke of it, Pete. You know, the complete joke of it, the whole thing. But we believe it's all theatre, don't we? We believe.
I don't like them to have nuclear bombs, nor do I like America to have nuclear bombs. Or
no, we don't want anyone to have nuclear bombs.
So yeah, but he's using it like an excuse to have fucking no. So no.
But did you enjoy that parody, Pete? Or maybe?
Well, I'm not very much into Father Ted.
Oh, you don't know Father Ted, do you?
Yeah. No.
It was one of the funniest programs.
I do know Miss Bouquet though.
Okay, I haven't got any of those Miss Bouquet ones. I've got no Miss Bouquet ones.
She was naughty.
Yeah, I haven't got any Miss Bouquet ones. So, what else have we got? Oh, yeah, we got headlines of the day as well. We got some music. I've got some tunes to play. I'm not sure I'll get to any tunes this hour because I've got a lot to fit in.
And
I didn't even
to fit in, yeah.
And I didn't even look for a tune actually that's not that's non-commercial. Unless you want to find one, Pete, you're very welcome to. In the meantime, let's put this one up. So what do I want to do? Oh yeah, I want to look at that there. Okay, so I want to read that. Yeah, and then I want to put this up. Okay. So this is all about this week. Yes, this is protesters from pro-life group Christian Concern put up placards outside Parliament as MPs voted on the decriminalisation of abortion. And unfortunately, it did go through.
Up to birth, right? That's the caveat.
So basically, up to 9 months now, women can abort a baby if they wish to.
Yeah, that's not abortion anymore.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, basically, a baby at 9 months is not going to look much difference after when it's 1 week old, let alone 9 months. So this is MPs have voted in favour of a significant change to abortion laws in England and Wales, with a majority of 379 to 137 supporting measures that decriminalise women terminating their own pregnancies, marking the most substantial change in reproductive rights law in over 50 years. Whilst the amendment put forward by Labour MP Tony Antoniazzi, or if that's how you say it, was the one that was passed. It allows women to end their pregnancies at any stage without facing criminal charges, effectively removing legal barriers up to the point of birth. This amendment removes the threat of investigation, arrest, prosecution, or imprisonment for women who terminate their own pregnancies, even beyond the current 24-week limit, though it maintains criminal penalties for medical professionals and abusive partners who end a woman's pregnancy without her consent. Stella Creasy's amendment, although not voted on, This rival amendment sought to go even further by enshrining abortion access as a human right and preventing women from being investigated for self-administered abortions, but it did not receive the backing of major abortion providers. The amendment has faced criticism from various quarters, including Justice Secretary Sabrina Mahmood, who described the change as unnecessary and dangerous, and Conservative MPs who expressed concerns about the implications for late-term abortions and for the potential for unsafe practices. Anti-abortion campaigners have also voiced strong opposition, arguing that the move removes protections for unborn children and could lead to increased risks for women. The legislation still faces further scrutiny and potential amendments in the House of Lords. I'm completely against this. I really am.
Yeah, this is shocking. Totally shocking.
I mean,
and especially when you say like self-administered abortion.
Yeah.
At 9 months, how the fuck? What are we talking about? Birth?
Well, he's
killing it.
You know, but you just know this is the thin end of the wedge, Pete. That what's next is
after 1 year, after 2 years, after 2.
That'll be next. That will be next.
I thought it was nice as a baby, but as a he's very loud now. Can I get rid of him?
And
oh my god.
I found a video actually that goes along with this, and it's about long. So it's a really important video to watch. So watch this. This is a woman that is asking people about what they feel about women's opinions on abortions. Yes, Roberta, you're absolutely right. Women's abortions. This is in America, but it's got a bit of a twist at the end of it. Watch this.
My mom went through 5 abortions before she decided to keep me.
I always kind of thought it was just like a little seed.
I will be against abortion for sure, 100%.
And if we don't feel like it or we don't have enough money for it, any circumstance should not be anybody else's choice but that person.
I know that certain circumstances, make you have to do that, so.
Pro-choice, pro-life, or neither?
Pro-choice. I do know that there are some people who do believe in it, and I don't really want to put my opinions onto them.
Everybody has a choice.
So you do believe that it's a baby in the womb?
It's a tough one.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that question. Yeah, it's a tough one.
It's okay if you don't know.
Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, you got me there. It's like, I don't know.
In the economy we live in, it's better to be safe than sorry. It's better late than never to get rid of it and, maybe try again later.
Do you think there should be any restrictions on abortion, such as only allowing them in the first 3 months of pregnancy?
I believe all the way up until birth.
Do you know anything about how an abortion's performed?
I don't.
This is just more about the procedure from a woman who's really familiar with them.
Right, and then they have the products of conception room at Planned.
That's a terrible way. I didn't know that that's how babies or how you get an abortion. Do we have anything else instead of having to use the clamps to cut up the baby and stuff?
Yeah, I didn't know that that's how they performed abortions. Very eye-opening.
I'm sorry, all right? I'm fine. My mom went through 5 abortions before she decided to keep me. That's sad. That's a life, and they're destroying, and they haven't even got a chance the baby to see what's life all about. Like, they have no choice, the babies,
Say information in the video helps change your mind or solidify a stance about abortion.
Yes, I feel like that video should be shown everywhere.
I always kind of thought it was just like a little seed that they kind of scope out. It's really sad to watch the body parts get pulled off of the baby one by one.
I lost our second child. It's a life. It's a life.
I think if you're far along to just give birth, you might as well give birth.
It's not like a designer handbag that you maybe I'll keep it or not.
You might find that you're in a better circumstance to take care of the kid, or, give it to somebody who is in a better circumstance to take care of it, and don't just kind of take a life that hasn't got the chance to develop yet. Very eye-opening.
Would you consider yourself strongly pro-life now?
Yes. Now that they're watching that video, my opinion changed 100%. Now I'm gonna educate my friends, and I will be against abortion for sure, 100%.
Yeah, share this video, and so I did. There we go. So
yeah,
interesting to see how they were turned around, Pete, isn't it?
Yeah, but how ignorant is she if she thinks it's just a bunch of lump cells? And she says, "Oh no, I'm up to for 9 months. That's fine, 9 months."
Yeah.
That's a full-grown baby.
I think that there's a lot of people that are ignorant about it, and I think that there's also like, I don't want to know. Really, I think there's that attitude of I don't want to know how bad things are to go through that process, and I kind of get that as well.
Yeah.
You know,
kind of says it's the American, right? Yankees.
But
this is the same here. I had a girlfriend who did a couple.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And she regrets it. But, you know, circumstances.
If you don't mind me asking, was it yours? One of them?
No.
Oh, right.
No, I would not allow that.
And, Spanish says that, in his opinion, that's murder. And at 9 months, it's a cesarean. I hope it is.
Yeah.
I really hope it is, Roberto.
And then they take it out, and then what? Then they harvest it for organs because they're not gonna toss it away.
You know what, Pete? You've made a really important point there. You know, because at the end of the day, those organs can be harvested, can't they?
They will be 100%.
Yeah.
Well, if they are donors, and I think an unborn.
Listen,
baby doesn't have the same rights as a human being, so it's just a lump of meat.
And you go in and you want,
and you're not getting any of that money.
No, you want that taken out of you, right? You don't want to know. Oh, you just sign your waiver, and you don't want to know. You don't want to know the sex. You don't want to know anything about it. Unfortunately,
I don't know if a baby can opt out. If an unborn can opt out of that system.
I mean, I get the whole thing that, that women have got to think about the circumstances about bringing up a child and things like that. And if I had a choice, I would encourage a partner to have the baby, even if we had to give the baby away because it wasn't, for whatever circumstances that might be for her. But I would rather give that life to someone else.
Yeah,
rather than destroy that life. Personally,
there's always a grandma, an auntie, an uncle, family member, whatever. Down the tree or whatever.
Yeah,
how far you want to go, but that can help you out. And they will.
If you joined us late, this is what we're talking about. That the abortion laws have been changed, and we've just been discussing about the abortion laws and how they can now abort up to 9 months, which I really don't think is a good idea.
Well, there is an issue with the birth control issue as well, right? So, because I'm not pro birth control either, putting women on sterilizing fucking medication and so just for that. So I think we just have to be more aware on how the fucking body works, just like it was not that very long ago.
Yeah,
and maybe be more in tune with all that instead of the convenience of having a quickie and with people you don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean that's the problem, isn't it, Pete? Is that this is the society that we're in. I mean,
well,
I saw a story.
Couldn't even answer who the daddy is, probably, but
Yeah, I saw a story of who's that rock star?
And that too, right? Nobody asked the daddy in this whole fucking thing.
No,
nobody.
No. But then women would argue, I'm the one that's got to give birth to it, not you. You.
Yeah, blah blah. As if
I
that's
understand
fuck
that.
off.
I get that as well. What are the comments that are coming in? Saying Stella Creasy wants a fucking fuck Kong with a broom handle, or fucking with a broom handle. Satanic shit. Evil, says Mascara Snake. They found some thick women there. Well, I don't know. I think that's a bit harsh Spanish, but I get you. And Rich T is here as well. As a man, I feel it's not my place to make judgments on this subject.
It's
You're
like with
allowed-
all those things, right? With the same with the
allowed
breast
an opinion,
implant.
Rich T. You know,
With
no
the
one's
breast-
asking you to make a judgment, but you're allowed an opinion about it.
Hey,
you know?
if women have breast implants and shit, right, for their man or for just for looking better for whatever picture or whatever, that's not a easy operation either, right?
No,
it always looks so great, but when you actually see what's happening and how they go through all that, and especially when it doesn't go super well,
yeah.
you know, it can be a fucking nightmare. You know, it's always portrayed as it's oh no, just walk in, you know, and you walk out with a pair of tits, or you know, you walk in with a baby, you go out without a baby, super easy. That's how you know, that's the ignorance. That's the
Do you know
They're
what
not
comes to
thick.
mind?
They think it's like that. They
Do you know
believe
what
that.
comes to mind, Pete, when we're discussing this? Okay,
Mhm.
is the fact that you can now be arrested for praying within 100 meters of an abortion clinic in the UK.
Yeah.
And
In your
not
head.
even
In
your
your
head.
head. Yeah.
In your head, you can be arrested.
Yeah.
And that is the fucking oxymoronic whole nature of this. Is now it's okay to kill a life up to 9 months, but you can't silently in your head pray within 100 meters of an abortion clinic. And that is fucking disgusting, in my opinion. That really is. And yes, Spanish, they probably do sell the parts after. You know, I'm sure people are going to start doing some investigations. Yeah, you got to opt out. I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs of it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you have to be a special kind of woman as well to fucking abort your child at 9 months.
Yeah, and
I
Roberto,
think they should abort you with the child, or you first, and then give the child a chance.
Roberto's
Like, okay, you're not fit. Fuck off.
Roberto's got a little rhyme to go along. Johnny catches the jizz is what it is.
Oi, oi.
Do you know what a Johnny is, Pete?
No, but I know what a Johnny Cash is.
Yeah. Johnny is a
dick.
condom. A condom.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
right.
condom. They call them rubber Johnnies in this country.
Oh, right.
We used to, but I'm sure that Spanish says that's like ordering a steak and not being able to criticize the chef, Rich. Yeah. And there we go. Rich says, I do think 9 months is way too late. And it is. It really is.
That's crazy.
It's absolutely crazy. It really is.
I get when you're raped. I get when there's abuse. I get all those things, right?
Yeah.
But there are circumstances when you're health reasons, whatever, you're gonna die. There are reasons. Fine.
Yeah.
But you know, you don't wait 9 months and then say, "Oh well, this rape baby I don't want." That's no. Right? So then it's just pure like financial convenience. It was not mine. It was the neighbor's. Maybe it's black. Maybe it's ginger.
Next story, Pete. We've got NHS to test every baby's genome now. Let me just bring this up. Let me have a look. Open with photos. There we are. Yeah. Okay. So, and let me bring this up. There we go. Add to stage. Thank you very much. So yes, NHS to test every newborn's DNA within a decade. Government commits significant funding to genomics program aimed at disease prevention. Actually, before we talk about
what the fuck is going on in the UK?
Pete, before we talk
Jesus.
about this, even Wes Streeting, the health secretary, this week they voted on the fact that you can. What was it now? Let me try and I'm trying to remember. Oh yes, the charter to end your life, to end your life, right?
Euthanasia.
Euthanasia. They voted it through, right? Even Wes Streeting who was the health secretary, has said, if we implement that, right, we haven't got the money now to run the NHS. And now, if we implement that, that's going to destroy the NHS. So the oxymoronic thing about that is that we're going to pay to end people's lives, but we won't have enough services to keep the lives going. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And yeah, now this week we've got this as well. So they're gonna be testing your genome, and this is the NHS. Let me just bring this up. Here.
Even the Nazis wouldn't come up with this shit. Like, oh well, that's a bit rich.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. The NHS plan to. So the NHS are planning to test every newborn in the UK within the next decade. Framed as a revolution in predictive healthcare, this initiative is part of the government's life sciences sector plan with 650 million in funding behind it. But let's be clear, this isn't about preventing disease. Most diseases aren't genetic. They're driven by environment, diet, stress, and social conditioning. So why collect everyone's DNA at birth? Because DNA is the new gold. Your genome is the most personal, unchangeable data you have. In your hands of government, corporations, and AI systems, it's not healthcare. It's long-term leverage for tracking, for profiting, and for profiling as well. Once collected, it's permanent. You can't revoke it. You can't change it. And you are likely won't be asked for true informed consent. This is about building a population-scale genetic database under the guise of care. It enables future surveillance, risk scoring, predictive policing and control. The language is science, the branding is health, but the reality is something much more dangerous. This isn't about protecting your child. It's about owning their future. There you go. What do you think about that then? Also, Pete, this will be used against people in terms of their insurance.
This is Gattaca. If you know the movie Gattaca, you know that one?
No, I don't know that one. No.
Well, that's where you can get in a program if your DNA is okay or not. And you can identify with yourself with DNA and all that stuff.
Right, I see.
So you can get into the space program because there's I think something is going to happen, but you can get into the space program if your DNA is like perfect. Right? If they're not going to shoot you into space to some new planet to save you if you have a defect in your DNA, right?
Yep.
So it's a selection tool.
Well, this is going to go back
this is
again.
Nazi shit.
At what point are they going to say, "Oh, I know, we tested baby's DNA at 7 months. Oh, it's got this wrong with it. I would advise you abort it."
Oh yeah.
It leads into that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let me just shut these curtains, Pete. Hang on a second. Sorry. Bear with. Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, I wouldn't wait for my baby to be born before you could check it, right? You could check it in the womb, and they probably do, because there are certain jabs that babies get as well, where they check for Down syndrome.
Yes, that's right.
Right, so they're already collecting DNA while they're in the womb.
Yeah, and whilst they're a chip or something will be implanted into these babies. And once you and this is the thing about they're really trying to stop women from having babies at home now, right? And because you lose all your rights when you enter the NHS system, you lose all your rights. You're signing over all your rights. More births are now through cesarean section than they've ever been, Pete.
Yeah,
and you've got to question that. Is it about safety, or is it about the fact that it's known that a child is generally, if it's given the natural birth, okay, when it comes out of the woman, the everything that's on the baby as the child is coming out is all part of its future
birth. Yeah,
it's all part of its birth.
Yeah, it's an unnatural birth. What you're saying, so it doesn't bond with the woman normally like it would.
Yeah,
right? Through a normal birth.
There must be some emotion. There must be some emotional changes that go on. And again, I'm a look.
But again,
I'm a father
that's
of
more
two.
convenient thing because the women don't want their punanis ruined. So do a cesarean.
Yeah, well, again, there's a lot of that's sold to it.
Yeah,
as well, isn't it?
But that's fucking women.
Yeah. Well, no, not all women are like that. I'm not
saying that, but there is a market for it, and that's the problem, right? So there are women asking for this shit. It's like fucking your asshole bleached shit. You know,
Yeah.
a doctor should be there and say, no, we're not going to do that. Your pussy is fine. It works. Use it. Yeah. And that's the problem, like, because the doctors get more money if they do a cesarean than a natural birth.
I believe
Right?
so.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
There's a surgeon there. There's an anesthetics and the whole fucking
anaesthetist.
team and they're fucking all of it.
Yeah.
So there's a financial gain in that. So if the NHS wants less work, well, use pussies instead of fucking a knife. Knife.
Yeah. I mean, I both my sons were born,
It's retarded.
Normally, but the first one, it was a difficult birth. They had to do suction on him, with a plunger, and I'll never forget it. I don't mind sharing this story with you, but when they had to use this suction thing to help him get out, right? And what they didn't warn me about was that it would temporarily change the shape of his head. Okay.
Yeah.
So when he came out looking like David Bowie in Ashes to Ashes, with the cone head.
Yeah.
And I thought my wife had given birth to some sort of alien. And I went up to her and I said, darling, he's all right, but he does have a funny shaped head. And the nurse said to me, no, it's all right. It'll go back to normal. It's fine. Don't worry. And I was like, oh. But that was 18 hours she was in labor for.
Yeah, sure. I can get, I get it. If it, there are situations also there, like, if it doesn't want to go, you have to find another way out. But that's circumstance, right? But not out of convenience.
And good evening, Jen, who gives us some of her experiences. I wanted a natural home birth, but I needed to go into hospital in the end and ended up having an emergency C-section. Well, at least, do you know what, Jen? Hats off to you. You tried. And that's the thing, that's the thing. And good for you. Well done. And Jimmy has also come up with some news. He's come up with some Irish news here. I saw it earlier. I love the new Irish legislation, which gives everyone the option to opt out of being an organ donor. Yeah, it's happening everywhere, Jim. It's happening everywhere.
Well, you have to opt out, or you're automatically an organ donor.
No, you're automatically opted in, so you've got to opt out.
Yes.
Yeah, you've got to opt out. Yes, Rich T. Unvaccinated men's stuff is worth a fortune. Spanish, but do women? That it's maybe worth a fortune to a certain unvaccinated woman.
Yes,
but are they as rare as hen's teeth? You don't know. You just don't know, do you? Right. So we've done that story.
Let's move on.
Let's move on, shall we? Let's move on. Should we do a funny? Should we do a funny?
Yeah, do something light.
Let's lighten the mood a bit here. We've done that one, and here's I'm sure you've all seen this. It was in Pete's Daily, but here's Mr. Trump being very.
We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Yeah, we'll just apologise for that language from the US President Donald Trump, who was speaking to reporters.
We just want to apologise
sorry.
for using the F word. We are Sky News, so we just want to apologise. Let me just delete this video here. Let me just delete that one as well. And here's a quick tune for you. A food warning from the 1980s. Watch this.
Hey, let's get some ice cream.
How about this one? Pistachio, almond, fruit fudge, butterscotch delight.
Ingredients: zinc trisodium aspartate, sorbitol and bisulfate, oxide beta-carotene, lactic acid carabine. Grade A milk emulsified, maltodextrin alkylide, silicon dioxide, lots of sugar.
Hey, all right.
Calcified synthetic salt, artificial barley malt, glycerin and aspartate, folic acid.
That tastes great.
Monosodium glutamate, dehydrated calciumate, soybean oil, butter fat, caramel sensor.
I'll eat that.
Hooray for sugar, cause we love it. Chocolate chips, we want more of it. Cakes and ice cream, want to shove it down our throats real fast. Here's a candy bar, you tried it?
Hey, let's all see what's inside it.
Gelatinized triglycerin, phosphate, soybean lecithin, deoxylite, trisilicon, dipped in chocolate.
Bring it on!
Citrus enzymes, BHT, powdered milk.
Sounds good to me.
Baking soda, carob gum, carbohydrates.
Yummy, yum.
Monosodium glutamate, zinc disodium alginate, whole grain flour, yeast and fat.
Time to eat it. I'll do that.
We like sweets a lot, so give us all you got, and we'll stuff them in our bodies till they make our insides rot.
Yeah.
Pete, that was 19. I said 1980s. It was 93. Yeah, and not much has changed in the food there since then, has it? Really?
No.
It really hasn't. So the next article I want to talk about, I saw this this piece, and it's about caring, and I mean, you know, you Pete, you care for your mum, I care for my mum. I'm sure I know that Roberto used to care for his mum. There's a lot of us that have to do it. And she wrote this article, and she says, "I'm caring for my mum and silently furious at what my life has become." And it was quite a long article, so I broke it down, and I wanted just to discuss it with everyone, because I think it's quite something that most of us are going to go through. So the article was a personal essay by a woman called Gwyneth Reese, who shares the emotional and physical strain of being an unpaid carer for her elderly mother with dementia. And the key points were that she describes a moment of breakdown symbolized by hiding under her bed as a response to overwhelming responsibilities. She juggles caregiving, work, parenting, a teenager, and managing her own poor health and anxiety. Caring for her mother, who lives an hour away and has become the tipping point for her burnout. And in the broader context, she highlights a rising national issue. Around 4 million people in the UK are unpaid carers for elderly parents. With the aging population, the number of people needing long-term care is projected to increase significantly by that year 2030 and beyond. The systemic concerns are that she criticises the UK's underfunded social care system, suggesting it leaves families, especially women, carrying the burden. It draws attention to the annual Carers Week campaign, which underscores the risks unpaid carers face, such as social isolation, poverty, and poor mental health. It's a raw, poignant reflection on a deeply personal challenge that echoes a growing society crisis. And so I wanted to see what other people thought about this. I mean, for me, Pete, I think this flips back to the bill where you can euthanize people. And I think that more and more people are going to try and say, I don't want my daughter going through this. I know my mum has already said to me, if I get the opportunity, I don't want to be living anymore, and I think it's a good idea to euthanize myself because she's made to feel guilty about being a burden, you know. And that's what this is. Again, I think this is why they're underfunding things like this and letting people, you know, get to this breaking point where they feel that they just can't manage and cope anymore. And it's causing all sorts of mental health problems. I feel lucky.
Well, here in the Netherlands, we do. You can get money.
You can, yeah,
as a caretaker. So
yeah,
you know, it depends on many hours you put into it, but yeah, it can be a full income, right? If you put 8 hours a day in caring for your mom, you get an 8 hour a day pay. That's kind of how they have arranged it here, because you're less of a burden on the healthcare system. So, you know, it's cheaper to have people take care of themselves than, you know, put them in care home or whatever, right? Because that's where the real money goes in the pockets of the managers. So yeah.
And again,
and
for
they
me,
don't
I was
get any
thinking-
care in a care home, right?
And I was thinking about this as well, Pete. And again, this is where I have a lot of respect for Asian communities, because they tend to live closer to each other or in literally one big house, right? And therefore, they don't expect the
Yeah,
social
not
care
just
system.
Asian. It's 80% of the world does that.
Yeah. I mean, well, I see a lot of it here is the Asian families, right? They don't expect to be able to put mum into a care home or dad into a care home. They will take on that responsibility because they know it's what they want to do, and it's the dignified thing to do for your mum, your dad, or your sibling, whatever.
Well, yeah. And the way she has it, right? Her life is being ruined, her marriage probably, her work, everything is, suffers from it. So,
but again, that's because we've fallen into this societal change of you don't live with your parents, you don't. And look, I'm guilty of that. I wouldn't want to live with my mum, But again, is that because we've fallen into that trap?
Well, and not when she's demented. That's you're really taking care of a patient.
And then you take it
it's no longer
Pete,
your mum.
You take it back a step further, Pete, and we have to then say, why did the parent get dementia? Was it because she had bad guidance about what the type of food, because she wasn't surrounded by good advice that helps people not get demented? Why is it that
statins?
The people,
why is there so much dementia?
Yeah, exactly. What does it do? It reduces the cholesterol. 80% of the brain is cholesterol. It's a big elephant in the room.
But that doesn't solve her problem, right? But
no,
because apparently there is not enough place for mom to be taken care of, so she has to do it herself. Apparently, so that's a problem, and that too. Like they cut on less hospitals, less care homes, less everything. But
yeah.
What
are the people saying about this? Let's have a look. See if we've got. Spanish says, "Go back less than 100 years. Everyone looked after their old." Yeah, and they've changed.
And dementia wasn't really a thing. Diabetes wasn't really a thing. Parkinson's wasn't really a thing. Cancer wasn't really a thing.
No. The Cookie says the NHS tried to get relatives to care for you, so they don't have to pay proper wages for carers. Couldn't agree with you more, Cookie. Absolutely right. Kendo says £72 per week as a carer. It used to be 63. 70. I mean, that it's just slave labor, Pete, isn't it? Yeah. £72 a week.
Yeah.
These people that come into your house, they're given the contracts are given to these private companies who then make these carers A, work like slaves, and B, give the least amount of care possible because they have to keep running from this one to the next one to the next one to the next one.
Well, they can get £72 per person, right?
Yeah.
So if they do 100 persons in a week, well,
24-hour day if they're calling any hour of the day or night. Yeah, I mean, we know that Roberto used to care for his mum, so he's been through it. He's a good example. Yes, Kendo, 24/7, 365 days a year. Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's exactly the point that I made, James. Funny how now the assisted dying bill has passed. Because it's just gonna encourage people, isn't it, to say, "Oh, I don't want to be a burden on my family." I'm just gonna.
Well, especially for dementia and those diseases, right? Because do you want to live as a demented fucking pot plant, Rob?
Yeah.
Do you? I don't. So if I can opt out of that, sure, I don't care because I don't know.
Cookie reckons we need robots to wipe our butts.
Yeah.
That one that Pete showed last night with the hand, yeah?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want a hand job from that girl.
Remote hand.
Yeah. And the private carers have been visiting me were costing $200+ per week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you have to pay that yourself, Cookie, don't you? But don't worry, Cookie. You know, the PIP pays for that. You know, not that they're trying to get as many people off PIP as possible. And Steve says, and the problem with foreign-speaking carers is older people want to chat and make a connection with the few people they interact with. And Steve, they're not absolutely right, and they're not even given the time to interact with them.
No, they're not allowed.
When I worked in the NHS, over the period of the 11 years that I worked in the NHS, they increased the amount of patients I had to see, which led to, and my salary didn't go up that much in 11 years. But what it also did was, so it devalued my salary and it devalued the connection that I was able to make with that patient because I didn't have enough time because they put more and more patients on us. What else has been said here? We've done that one. And Kendo's been caring for Audrey for 19 years. And good on you, Kendo. Good on you, mate. And it's a fucking deadly government policy, I tell you, says Roberto. And a different carer each time, Steve. Absolutely right, mate. Spanish says, new carers are on the phone whilst wiping asses. Yeah, they've got one wiping an ass, and the other one is looking at a phone, probably, mate. You're absolutely right. The carers didn't treat mum right. I'm not surprised, mate.
Well, in the future, we don't have those people anymore because the babies are going to be DNA checked and probably aborted before they are born if they have any defects. So
yeah, I hear you loud and clear, Pete. Yeah, I hear you. You know, I hear you loud and clear. But you know, listen. They didn't have depopulation on the Bilderberg agenda for nothing. You know,
no, but they call us Nazis, right? But this is fucking total Nazi. You know, a wet dream for the Nazis. Like, yeah, we can make the perfect fucking population.
She had 2 heart attacks in her late 60s and 2 artificial knees at 75. Oh, Jesus, Kendo. Knees are a terrible operation. I know that for a fact. That's not good. So we've done that one. Okay, so we've got 5 more minutes. Let's do one more article before we go over to Rumble. Don't forget, Pete will put the link in the show notes. The link is in the show notes. Pete will put the link in the chat. So come and join us in about 5 minutes over on Rumble. So the Daily Snail did a article on proof that the UK cares more about asylum seekers than its own citizens. Well, what a shock. Shock figures show councils are housing up to 10 times more asylum seekers than homeless people. Well, are we really shocked about that? Let me read this article to you. Where is it? Let's have a look. So 17 councils in England are reportedly accommodating many more asylum seekers than homeless people. The Pendle up in Cheshire, I think it is, having the highest disparity. 453 asylum seekers compared to just 9 homeless households. Let me repeat that. So they've given 453 asylum seekers homes compared to just 9 homeless households. All right. And you know those homeless households are more than likely British. Okay. Critics of the government's immigration policy argue this suggests a preference for helping migrants over citizens. You don't say. However, officials, don't you love officials, claim the analysis is misleading and point out that they cannot control where homeless individuals choose to live. As of March, there were approximately 89,000 asylum seekers in England, whilst around 128,000 homeless households were in temporary accommodations. More than a third of councils house asylum seekers at double the rate of homeless households. Critics like Robert Bates argue that the British citizens, including veterans, are neglected whilst undocumented immigrants receive more support. Asylum seekers are legally entitled to housing and are provided accommodation whilst their claims are processed. If successful, they become refugees with rights to work and government support. However, many refugees may also fall into the homeless category. The increased number of asylum seekers has led to rising accommodation costs, now estimated at 4.2 million a day, with many residing, as you know, in hotels. Homeless individuals may receive state support, but only some have access to food and housing. Most homeless people in temporary accommodation are British nationals, and some local residents express frustration that asylum seekers are prioritised over them, especially in areas with high housing shortages. Protests highlight public dissatisfaction with the government's approach to housing asylum seekers before addressing the needs of the homeless. While some councils are making efforts to house homeless individuals, competition and government contracts for asylum seeker accommodation remains a challenge. The government maintains it is committed to addressing both asylum and homelessness issues, although criticisms persist about the apparent imbalance of support. Well, you don't say.
You know what's ironic?
Go on.
It's better to be homeless than to live next to an asylum seeker.
Yeah. And do you know what's ironic, Pete? You've got asylum seekers doing things like this.
Okay, so this is a video showing migrants going from Libya to Italy, and they're tearing up their passports and their identification before they arrive. If Europe was serious, if it had the best interests of its people at heart, not a single one of these would be accepted in. They'd all be sent back. Even if the risk was 1%, less than 1% on the population that something might happen, I wouldn't take them. Go get your identification, then come back and we'll see. And even then, I still probably wouldn't take them. Why should I? Why should we be the ones to hold the burden of accepting these people in, coming from places that differ so much from our own? I have a soft spot for women and children. If I seen a boat of women and children refugees coming over, I'd be hard pressed to turn it around. But young 20-year-old men, there's not a chance. And then to see multiple boats come in every day of the same demographic, I would have it shut down straight away, as would every common sense person. Every person that has the best interests of their people at heart would do the same. It's a zero benefit game. The only benefit you can say is that it's moral, and they'll pretend as if it's still moral. If children get stabbed in France, they get raped in England, oh, but it's moral. I don't think it is.
And it will never change until they stop the boats, Pete. It will never change. And it's a policy, you know. These asylum seekers, they come over and on boats because they're allowed to at the end of the day. It doesn't matter. And I agree with the man. You know, I mean, look at them just blatantly ripping up their passports in front of someone who's filming it as they're coming over. You know, apparently they do this when they arrive. When they arrive in Ireland, they do this on planes. You know.
Yeah.
But you know,
there's so many angles on this and so many issues, but it all plays into the bigger picture, right? What's going on in the Middle East, and what's going on here and everywhere.
And it also plays into that expression Kalergi plan. You know, is it all part of the Kalergi plan? So, but it's obvious that governments are. Again, I've said this before. I was out.
Well, with all the raping going on, you got a lot more abortions going on as well. Then,
I was out in Milton Keynes at the theatre. That as well, Pete. I was out in Milton Keynes at the theatre on Saturday, and I was lucky enough to go and see the theatre show Bat Out of Hell. I'd seen it once before. It was absolutely brilliant. But again, the only two homeless people that I saw outside that theatre were English white men. That's the only people that I saw. So it's clearly, it's a policy that that councils are allowing to happen. And you know that I don't like the Daily Snail, but they did a good investigation into that and came out with the facts and the proof. Will it make any difference? Probably not. It probably won't make one bit of difference. It's 9 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. That means, Pete, it's time for us to say au revoir to YouTube. But please don't forget, please hit the like button. Please do the thumbs up. Thank you very much, Kitty, for reminding me and reminding everyone. Please do that for me before you leave. It does help the show. We're up to 461 subscribers now, Pete. Wow. We've got to hit that 500. So if you're just visiting here, you know, come on, subscribe to the channel. We're here most Tuesdays, I would say 9 out of 10 Tuesdays.
And 80 on Rumble. So if we
we've
can
got
get
80
to 100 there, that would be
We've
nice.
got 80 subscribers on Rumble as well. So all links are in the show notes. So please come and join us over there. We're going to go over to Rumble. We're going to play a little tune-a-thon, one that I think you'll really like. So come and join us on Rumble. And YouTube, we won't be on next week because it's the music show of 1999. It'll be an exclusive on Rumble because you're not allowed to play commercial music on YouTube, but you can still on Rumble, and we will keep doing that. So thank you very much, YouTube. Let me get ready now. Let me edit it out. Let me remove it. Thank you. God bless, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for our Germany special show, probably.
Yeah.